Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Nightmare Mode run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Entrepreneur, which is one of the most powerful characters in the game, but one that I've heard people say they've had a surprising amount of trouble beating in Nightmare Mode. Because this character's reduced damage hurts you significantly in a mode where enemies have increased damage and health, and economy is just less important overall compared to raw damage output in Nightmare Mode. So we're going to play the Entrepreneur. I still think this will be a relatively powerful character, but we're going to give it a go. I'm going to use its best weapon, obviously. A weapon that scales with harvesting, with a character that gets extra harvesting, is going to be pretty strong, so let's jump into it. The Entrepreneur is somewhat unique for economy-focused characters in that it doesn't have reduced material drops, which is very nice. It means you actually get the full materials. The downside is that because it loses all of its materials at the start of the wave, and you start with 30 normally, you lose those as the Entrepreneur, so you start wave 1 with a lot less money. Here we're going to pick up some harvesting. That's always what we're looking for with Sickle. And then I'm just going to ban these two items. Banning level 1 items helps for this character, and is usually right for most characters, but there's good harvesting items. There's things like Bag that show up at level 1. Lots of good stuff that we can find. Landmines I'm not super interested in. I'll just ban that. Fresh meat I'm going to ban as well. Still looking for more sickles. With the sickle as your weapon, you don't really want to build melee damage. You just want to build more harvesting. So we're just going to ban the goat skull, and then we'll reroll. Finally lock another sickle. Ban small fish because it's a relatively weak item, and go to the next wave. Of course, you want to reroll as much as possible on the Entrepreneur every time. Since you lose all your money at the start of the wave, there's no point in saving money for next shop. Given that it's impossible. Not just pointless, but you literally can't. I wasn't going to be able to kill that tree. I didn't see it in time. I could take... excuse me. I could take 5% attack speed here, but I'm just going to roll for harvesting. Really important to get high harvesting very early on this character. So I'm going to do a few rerolls. Wow, okay, well that's very nice. And then now that I've rolled a few times, I am just going to take some attack speed to make sure that I can actually kill stuff. We'll buy a sickle. Of course, this is a support weapon, so the more I get, the more it increases our harvesting and thus also our damage. Weird Ghost I'll leave in the pool. Right now, I think it's... we don't want to lock it, but later on it might be worth buying. We'll buy a sickle. I don't think Baby Elephant is a direction that we're likely to go. Now, here I actually have an interesting conundrum. I can't save any money, so I could just buy the bag, and instead of looking for more sickles. I think that because it's bag and it's such a good item, that's okay. And we'll just hope to find more weapons. Obviously, this is a weapon we want a lot of, and we want to get the full set early to increase our harvesting, and we want to level it up so that the harvesting scaling improves. But getting an early bag can pay for itself if you happen to get a crate drop. And it spends our money well, which is sometimes a challenge on this character, just making sure you're spending all of your money on things that actually give you an advantage. Sadly, we didn't get a crate dropping from that tree, which would have made it better, but we can take 5 harvesting here, and then I'm going to pick up 3 regeneration. I could roll for harvesting or armor or something like that, but we're going to need healing as well, so just making sure we have as much as possible, as early as possible, is very important. We're going to pick up the sickle and the propeller hat. I'm going to pass on the Ratzilla. I'm looking for more weapons here. And I'm going to pass on head injury. This is something we'll be interested in later, but for now, while we still have guaranteed weapons in the shop, I really want to fill out my weapon set, so I'm just going to roll for those. I'll lock Scar. I think Bait, we are not strong enough to fight the Bait aliens yet, so we'll lock Scar, we'll reroll, we'll lock a sickle, and I'll roll again. Gentle Alien I'll take, and then we'll go to the next wave. And again, we want to reroll down to 0 every time, since this character can't save money. Alright, so I'm looking for, of course, more harvesting. I'm looking for attack speed. I'm looking for armor and regen. The main challenge here is just going to be that we're a melee damage character with very short range, and we're on Nightmare mode, so being a melee character with short range on Nightmare is sometimes difficult. I think we can get away with getting Curse on this character, though. Cursed items are very, very powerful. Can we kill this loot alien? Come back here. So I only got one Curse alien, but I got 2 loot alien kills. I'm going to take the fried rice for 33 materials. This pulls a unique item out of the pool, which is not incredibly relevant, but is fine. But there are plenty of ways that we can actually make use of that if I do get burning effects. I'll take the claw tree as well. It only scales at 0.8 of the melee damage only scales at 80% of the normal value, but the crit chance is still fine on Sickle, which has 2x crit damage, and while losing an HP does hurt, this is still a relatively cheap item. I'm also going to take 6 movement speed, because I want to be at positive movement speed, and then 8 more harvesting to continue to boost our damage. We'll keep upgrading our weapons. I'll buy a coupon, which is awesome. Can I buy both of these? That's 98 total, so we can, which is great, because that lets me get to all at least level 2 weapons, which is awesome. We'll lock another weapon here, and then do a reroll down to 0 materials, so the perfect amount for the entrepreneur. Killing the curse aliens here. I think you probably win this run. Like, I think you could make this run potentially easier by just not getting curse. Because the entrepreneur will just generate so much money anyways, you don't really need the cursed items to boost your economy. But curse is fun, and it will end up with a more powerful run anyways, and I don't think it's, like, bad. It's not like one of the runs that just can't deal with cursed enemies. We'll recycle a lens here. I'll take 6 melee damage, although melee damage is less efficient than harvesting for this character. When you get a good melee damage upgrade like that, it can still be worth grabbing. We'll take the cake here, and then I'll roll. I'll buy a sickle. I'll buy loot worm and beanie, and we'll roll again. We'll keep leveling up our weapons and buy a head injury. One thing I'm not finding is a lot of healing. I need consumable healing, I need regen, I need armor. So my defensive stats are starting to really lag behind. But we do, of course, have to buy this whole shop. Now I really need to find armor. So our level 10 level up is, we're going to hard roll for 3 armor there. Because I'm about to reduce it, and we do not want to do that. A character with range this poor in melee does not want to have negative armor. The loot worm is mostly for killing trees. It can help by picking up some materials, but we're not going to be leaving that many on the ground because we're a short-range melee character. But going off to kill trees for us is actually pretty helpful. Also, it's kind of like buying an extra ban. We can, find fertilizers and stuff like that. You can see that having 0 armor is starting to really put some pressure on. I will take the cyberball here. I can't remember if I banned baby elephant or not. I think I might have. But having the one cyberball when we have 30 luck is fine. Here, I do like attack speed, but like I said, we need to hard roll for armor in this shop, because we're about to reduce ours. Buy everything here. I'll buy another gentle alien. I'm going to pass on the bone dice. We buy damage at half rate. By the way, you should still buy damage on this character, like head injury and stuff like that. And the melee damage as well, even though you get it at half rate. And then we'll roll here. I'll take a duct tape. I'll roll again. And I'll buy a weird food and a dangerous bunny. Reroll again. And we'll buy a tree. Ritual. We get 3 damage and 2 lifesteal. I think that's fine. When you buy damage at half rate, of course, it's more expensive to buy it, but it's not like you can just not buy damage. And percent damage is very impactful when it's low. The lower the stat is currently, the more each point is worth. Or rather, improving your lowest stats is more impactful than improving your higher stats. So when a stat is low, it's a high priority to increase it. And we now have a lot of harvesting, so we're starting to get good money every wave. I'm going to take the Catling gun, and this is just for lifesteal because it only costs 23 materials, so it'll work well when we get a little bit of lifesteal. We'll buy the attack speed here, and then this 3 armor is incredible. That's exactly what we need. We'll take everything in this shop. We'll buy Peaceful Bee, which is damage positive for this character. We will combine and buy a sickle. Pocket Factory. I do have loot worm killing trees. Entrepreneur can use engineering pretty well, so I think we will buy Pocket Factory, and then if I get... I'm not going to go out of my way to buy engineering, like we won't be buying this book, for example, but if we get incidental engineering, then the Pocket Factory can help us kill stuff. Since it doesn't care about our reduced damage. And the Catling gun is very unlikely to kill anything, but it's literally just here to provide some healing, because it only costs 20 materials, and if it gives me, 1 extra health every 10 seconds or whatever, that's still a reasonable amount of additional healing from the lifesteal that we get out of it. And once I've boosted my lifesteal a little bit more, it'll be more reliable at actually proccing it. But making 400 materials on Wave 8 is obviously awesome. My max HP is terrible. I think I'm going to... no, I'm going to take the Bone Dice, even though it's only worth half a damage every time it goes off. We'll find max HP, and I will take 9 here. And we need all the damage we can get. Similarly, I'm going to buy Coil, even though it's only 2.5% damage, but this way, knockback becomes actually good for us. I'm going to buy Blindfold as well. We can actually start building Dodge at this point. You're always going to want to build Dodge on this character because you get lots of money, but need defensive stats. I think I will spend 25 on 1 HP with the Jelly, and then I'll roll here. I'll take a Metal Detector, I'll take an Ugly Tooth. Doc Moth I'm going to pass on, and I'll reroll. We'll buy the coffee, and I do have the fried rice, so this incendiary turret, like I mentioned earlier, is actually going to be good regeneration now. So that's why I speculated on the fried rice, because when we find an item like that, it was very cheap to pick up, and when we find an item like that, it's actually going to be good. And if we get, a Blaze Mander or something, or a Scared Sausage with our Pocket Factory, then fried rice will be worth 10, 15 regeneration a lot of the time, which is very solid for having spent 30 materials on it. And the incendiary turret isn't totally embarrassing just in terms of the damage it deals either. Incendiary turret is very good, even because it has really high DPS. It can be pretty solid even for non-engineering builds, just for any build that needs more wave clear, which this build definitely does as the Entrepreneur with low damage. So, while it's not something we would buy without the fried rice in our inventory, it's not horrible to have it either. Padding is going to be pretty good. That will be a lot of extra money, though. Since this character can't save money, it's not going to be that much. Here, do I roll for armor or do I take regeneration? I think I'm going to roll for armor again. We just need as much armor as we can get. We'll take 8 harvesting to keep boosting our damage. We'll buy everything in this shop, even though that costs me 2 health and only gives me a little bit of damage. We need all the percent damage we can get. We'll buy the pearl here for sure. I'll take a beanie. I think I do want a little more movement speed. I'll buy jelly as well. I have no use for elemental damage, so let's reroll here. Take a lost duck. I'll take a claw tree, and then I'll roll again. Lemonade is great. We really needed additional consumable healing. And I now have enough armor that I think we can get away with buying the gambling token, and we'll start actually trying to build dodge. And then we'll lock a coffee, and again, I'm re-rolling down to 0. Also, as always, when I play Entrepreneur, your homework is to count how many times I forget to roll down to 0 in the shop, because I'm used to being able to save money. And so I'll go on autopilot and forget. So our incendiary turret right now is keeping usually like 2 or 3 enemies on fire, but if we start getting in trouble, I can go play around it here, and then when it hits a big group of enemies like that, you know, we get 15 regen out of it. So it's actually a pretty relevant healing item. It's kind of like having a medical turret in that we can go play near it if we need more health. And it's also just incidentally providing value, both in terms of healing and in terms of just a little bit of damage to some of these enemies. We also made 760 materials this wave. My weapons already attack significantly faster than the ball and chain, and I will take 20% more attack speed. I still want even more attack speed. I have 50 HP now, but a lot of that is fake. 10 of that is fake from the padding, but I still think I want to take 8 harvesting. Alright, well, Crown is obviously incredible for this character. We'll buy the coffee. I'm gonna lose a little engineering here, which we are using some, but the percent damage and lifesteal matters more. I'll buy a sickle. I'm gonna buy mirror. It only costs 88 materials, and so we should be able to duplicate something good with it, though I won't use the duplicate on the injection here. Piggy bank doesn't work for the Entrepreneur. It actually has a funny interaction with Entrepreneur where if you have materials left, it snapshots how many you had, then you go down to 0, and then the piggy bank gives you 20% of what you had at the beginning. But since you can't save materials wave to wave, that will never be more than like 5 materials per wave or something from the piggy bank, so you should almost never buy this. I think here I'm actually just gonna roll again. I could take any of the pets, but I really want to duplicate something good. I don't mind capping my move speed at 17, so I'll take the shackles here, and I'm going to roll again. We're not really getting anything good to duplicate, but honestly, +1 armor is probably good enough. So I'm just going to take the helmet. And then I'll roll here, and I'll buy a sickle, I'll buy a corrupted shard, I'll buy an alien tongue, and I'll roll again. And yeah, we didn't really get anything else we could have duplicated for good value. I'll take the beanie here, because my move speed is under cap, and we'll take jerky as well, which is great. The bandana does work with our pocket factory, but that's just not a big component of our damage at the moment, so I don't want to build around it. Pocket factory is here mostly so that if we do find a scared sausage, it'll apply fire, and then that'll give me healing. We're getting pretty strong at this point, but with only 40 health and somewhere around 10 armor, I don't remember exactly the number, I can still die very quickly if I just take a couple hits in a row, so I do still need to be aware of that. But our healing is a lot better now than it was earlier, so we should be able to stay healthy as long as I keep having high luck and good consumable healing. I'll take another cyber ball, and then I'll take 9 HP. I do need more attack speed, but the HP is a higher level, and we also very much need it going into an elite fight. Pick up the movement speed, we'll combine and buy all of these items, we'll roll. Do I want a fruit basket? I guess I do. It reduces my regen, of course, but helps with healing overall. We'll take a gentle alien for sure. I'll take a level 1 sickle. Barnacle I'm very happy with. This is exactly the type of thing we need. And although it reduces my harvesting, and by even more than normal, because we're the Entrepreneur, Blood Leech is definitely worth grabbing. We just need more healing, especially going into this elite wave. Alright, this elite can be kind of tough on Nightmare, because there's times where you won't be able to stand still because of the environmental projectiles and all the shots from the clams and everything, but our output is strong enough at this point that we were able to just kill it. So now I'm basically just looking for more armor, more regeneration, and more dodge. Our damage will kind of take care of itself because we have crown, we have a lot of harvesting, so that's going to just continue to grow our damage as long as we keep, leveling our weapons and by percent damage and attack speed when we see it. But we don't need to focus heavily on damage because it's just going to kind of show up on its own. What won't show up on its own is defensive stats, so I need to make sure that I pick those up. Ashes, this is wave 11, so we would lose 7 armor. Or wave 12, so we would lose 6 armor, excuse me. Because we would lose 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so 7 armor total. For 20% attack speed and 20% damage, I think that is just too painful. Losing 7 armor is ridiculously bad, so we're going to recycle the ashes here. We'll recycle fuel tank. I'll take another ritual. I'll take a free pearl. That's very nice. Frozen heart. I guess I'll pick it up. This is mostly actually good because having the burning activate slower means that it lasts longer for our fried rice. And the minor damage boost from the crit chance is fine. The damage boost from the... We'll also definitely take armor here. The damage boost from the elemental damage conversion is extremely negligible because it's only 10% and we buy elemental damage at a reduced rate. But I still think it's worth taking the Frozen Heart there. We'll go ahead and upgrade our sickle. We'll buy Lucky Charm, losing 1 melee damage, but that's fine. Don't really care about Rip and Tear or Eye Patch. I will keep upgrading my weapons. Buy another Gentle Alien. Buy a Leather Vest, which is perfect. We definitely want to boost my dodge. I already talked about how Scared Sausage is pretty good because we have Pocket Factory. So I'll pick that up. I'll grab Saltwater just to remove a unique item from the pool, and 3% attack speed is relevant. And Power Generator, even though, again, we buy damage at half rate, we're still getting a decent amount of percent damage out of this, and it's so important that I continue to boost it. Cog, I think we can pass on. Engineering's just not that critical for us. Speaking of critical, with 16 armor, I think we can buy the sunglasses. At this point, crit chance is actually pretty nice for us because our base damage is really good, so crit chance is really powerful. I will sell the level 1 sickle for the level 4, and then I'll roll again. Yeah, I'll definitely take Retromation's hoodie. I'll buy the bowler hat, I'll lock duct tape, and I'll lock sickle. And we'll go to wave 13 here. Now, of course, that will reduce my range, which is pretty rough, but... the bonus attack speed is going to be excellent, and we're going to keep building dodge as we see it. With the enhanced pufferfish, you want to hit them from an angle, like so, because when you hit them in melee, they explode in the 4 cardinal directions. So if you're at an angle to those, then you're not going to get hit by the projectile. I'll take a bonk dog. This can set things on fire. It can lifesteal for us. It's relatively cheap. We'll take a coupon here. I'm going to re-roll. When you have, and I'll roll past this as well. We no longer really need the melee damage. When you have 16 harvesting, I'll definitely take those. When you have barnacle, you really want to look for at least a level 3 upgrade, because since it's a percent increase to the value of the upgrades, higher level upgrades benefit more from the barnacle. 61% extra enemy health in an elite wave is pretty dangerous, but I think we can get away with it. I'm going to buy the celery tea because it's cursed. I'm going to roll here. I'll keep upgrading my sickle. I'll buy a whistle. I'm going to buy another Catling gun just for the healing. And I'm actually going to buy small magazine. The ranged damage, of course, is wasted, but even more attack speed is good. And as the entrepreneur, you really just want to buy, like, almost every item that's even remotely relevant, because you have so much money, but you just need stats to be able to survive. I'll take the glasses to kind of offset the range penalty we have, and candy bag even this late will be pretty good. Also, it's a lot of fun to buy it. This elite is definitely one of the harder ones to face as a melee character. I'm going to back off because I took a hit from it, and then we'll run back in and hit it a few times. Then I'll back off for its attack pattern. When you have really high damage and don't need to continuously damage it, you can play a little safer by doing that and just back away from it during its attack pattern, and then run back in to hit it a few times. If your damage is lower, you don't have that luxury because you need to play next to it the whole time in order to actually kill it by the end of the wave. Alright, we're really looking for dodge and armor at this point, because I am still taking more damage than I like when I take a hit. My loot worm was somewhere doing something else, so I just went and killed those trees myself to make sure that that got done. You know, if you want something done right. I'll take a medal here, we'll take a free pearl. Medkit, very happy with this. We need regeneration, and that's great. I'll take the jelly here. It's only 15 materials for, again, 1 HP. We'll take cauldron, another free pearl. Once you start getting pearls, they snowball. You get even more of them. Both lifesteal and dodge are incredible, so cape is one of the best things we could have found. And then 5 armor is exactly what we need. 12 more dodge, also exactly what we need. So a really ridiculous set of level ups and crates for us. Really helped out there. Do I want a second scared sausage for more regeneration? I guess that's fine, and then we'll buy leather vest and plant. Sadly, can't make use of that sickle. I could grab decomposing flesh. We have plenty of HP at this point, and I still do want more lifesteal, so I'll pick that up. I will buy a plant. 12.5% damage from the glass cannon for -3 armor. We have 25 armor. I do think that is worth it here, because percent damage is still pretty relevant. We'll pick up Broken Mouth and Lost Duck. We'll roll again. We'll take 6 damage from the Cyclops Worm. We'll roll again. Do I want Gobbler's Hat? It costs me 10 dodge, which is pretty bad. Obviously, more materials and 15 movement speed, which is also damage from my power generator. But it's so much money. And at this point, we're just kind of being... You know, we're trying to get as strong as possible, so we'll buy the Gobbler's Hat. Gonna drink some water. Getting the hiccups, which means usually you just need to drink water. Hence, Gobbler's Hat. Instantly killing that loot alien is great, but you can see now we're really strong at this point. With the entrepreneur, you really just need to outscale the game, and that's what we've done by getting so much money that we can continue to buy our discounted items, find a bunch of items in crates, and so on. You just need to get so many stats that you're way ahead of where the game expects you to be, and nothing matters on this character. You know, much as you might do if you were trying to become the idle rich in real life. I'm going to pick up a Dock Moth here. Even more regeneration at this point I think is fine. Boiling water, we will recycle. Eye surgery will recycle. Mastery, I'm going to take... We only get 3 damage out of it, but it's still worth picking up. Here I will... I'm going to take 16 dodge because I'm about to reduce my dodge. And then we'll buy the sickle. We'll buy Gobbler's Hat. Peaceful Bee is still damage positive because it gives us harvesting. And then we'll roll. I will buy this entire shop as well. We'll buy a lumberjack shirt. Fishhook, even this late, can definitely be worth it. So we'll roll again here. I'll take a weird food, and I'll re-roll again. Shady potion and plant. Yes, please. A silver bullet will help a lot. Do I want to try to curse it? I think I'm going to try to curse this sickle, and I'll buy silver bullet. I'll buy piggy bank just to remove it from the item pool, and I'll buy sunglasses, and then we'll try to curse the sickle. Getting some pretty nice criticals here. 1,000 damage criticals off our cursed weapon. Lot of projectiles there from the vampire squids. But that's why we've been building so many defensive stats. As always, on wave 16, trying to go around the edges and kill curse aliens to boost our curse, but we also made 1,500 materials. I'll definitely take the alien magic here, boosting my regen and everything. We'll take 5 more regeneration. I'll roll. I could take 2 armor. I think I'll just re-roll because I'm looking for a level 3 upgrade. We'll take 6 regen. That's pretty good as well. We did get our sickle curse, so the fishhook works on runs where we just don't need it. I'll take the stone skin. Yes, this isn't amazing. We don't really need the HP, but it's still helpful. And again, we just want to buy all the stats that we can. We just want basically anything that is remotely purchasable on this character. Losing 3 more armor for 12 more damage, I think, is actually not what I want to do. My armor's at an okay value, but our damage has also increased enough that 12 damage is less relevant. We'll buy the duct tape. I will buy the missile for 5 damage. I'll buy the metal detector. I'm going to take the bat, even though it decreases my harvesting, because lifesteal is important. Weird Ghost. I have enough regen I could maybe get away with the cursed Weird Ghost, but let's not throw this run. We'll take another missile. We'll roll again. Roll again. Okay, Cursed Giant Belt. That'll help me kill the bosses a little faster. And then I'll buy a Pearl. I'll buy a Black Belt. Reroll again. Buy a Duct Tape. And I could take Alloy just for the crit chance, but I feel like we can do better. I could also take Riposte because we have 60 dodge, so the damage isn't terrible, but compared to my sickle damage, it's just embarrassing, so I'm just going to pass on it. I will take Improved Tools, I'll take Peaceful Bee, and I guess I'll take another Incendiary Turret just for more regen. Well, there was an elite this wave. I don't know if you were keeping track. Happy to kill the blobfish. When you kill them with melee, these enhanced blobfish, you get 4 lampreys, I believe. 4, right? Yeah, 4. And then I think 6 when you kill them with ranged. But since we one-shot everything, it doesn't really matter how many spawn, because as soon as they spawn, we get one good swing from our weapons and take them all out. Yeah, we can take Bloody Hand here. It's a lot of bonus damage and a lot of extra lifesteal. We'll take a free Pearl. We'll take a Beanie, because my move speed is actually reduced quite a bit. I'm just going to take the level 2 armor here rather than reroll a bunch, and then I'll take 12% crit chance, and then take 2 more armor, and then we'll buy all of this stuff. 1 melee damage, I think is fine on the Hedgehog. We'll buy that. We'll take another coil. Upgrade my Cursed Sickle, which is great. We'll buy everything in this shop as well. And at this point, we're basically just on the buy everything we see plan. Though I'll pass on Medical Turret. We just don't need it. We'll take a Rat. We'll take a Fin. I'll reroll here. Take Weird Food and Blood Leech. Robot Arm won't do anything with only 2 waves remaining, so no point in that. We'll upgrade our Curse Sickle to level 4, which is great. Now, I can buy Chameleon. It's because we have Retrimation's Hoodie, it's also worth some attack speed, but I think that is still too expensive. We'll buy Propeller Hat, we'll reroll Lucky Coin, that's a bunch of luck, so I'll take that. I'll lock the Sickle and lock Cake and Lighthouse. Any of those that get cursed, I'd be happy to pick up. And we'll buy the Lighthouse anyways. Also, I get this question every time. Lighthouse and only count the Pocket Factory once, no matter how many turrets spawn. So, you can always buy Lighthouse. It's actually very good with Pocket Factory because it's going to spawn a lot of turrets, which all get the benefit of the high engineering that you just got. And by question, I mean I get a lot of people being like, you absolute moron, why would you buy that? Because they haven't figured out how it actually works. Wave 18 obviously went well there. Yeah, we'll take an Ice Cube. We have some Scared Sausages, so it'll help with extra damage. I'll definitely take the Ghost outfit. We go up to 70 dodge here. I'll just take 10 more Harvesting. Yes, we have a bunch already, but, you know, every little bit of damage helps. And then let's reroll here, and I'll take 5% Lifesteal, which also works with the Bloody Hand. Didn't get anything cursed this wave, but we will buy all of this stuff. And then we'll take a coffee. Fairy is worth buying, even though it's, you know, we have a lot of level 4 items, but it pulls a unique item out of the pool and gives us a bunch of regen immediately anyways. I'm gonna pass on all of this. I'll take Shady Potion, Banner, and Lucky Charm. I guess Banner actually reduces my knockback, which is bad for the coils. Treasure map. How have we only found 1 item off our treasure map so far? That's embarrassing. And obviously we don't really want it going into wave 19. Here I'll buy the Cursed Weird Ghost just for fun. We'll buy, excuse me, Peaceful Bee. Didn't manage to mute in time, so rip eardrums. We'll buy the laser turret, and what's my crit chance? I guess Eye Patch is still fine. When our rerolls are getting this expensive, we're just going to buy basically anything that helps even a little bit. We do lose some attack speed to buy the alloy there, but it still increases our crit chance and our damage output. Also, yes, we can buy Weird Ghost even though we have Bloody Hand because our regen is fast enough to increase my health before we actually take the damage tick. Plus, it would have been really funny if I had died by, like, walking into an enemy right as soon as it spawned. And I am not above losing a run in an extremely funny way. Once we hit healed to full, though, we're basically invincible, so this run is relatively easy. I'll take a Weird Ghost. We'll go into the boss fight with 1 HP as well. I'll take a Cursed Baby with a Beard just for the curse. We'll take a Pearl. Here, I'm going to reroll, and I'll take 20 luck, and I'll take, sure, 5 more armor, take 16 more harvesting. We'll buy a Baby Gecko, Duct Tape, take Wheelbarrow, and then I'll roll here, buy a Bat, and buy Hedgehog. My rerolls are going to get so expensive that I should just buy basically anything even remotely relevant that I see in order to just get the most possible stat. And sure, we'll buy Scapegoat. That's going to be kind of fun. We'll buy a Penguin. Community Support, unfortunately, will very likely not do anything, but I guess let's just buy it anyways. We'll take the Lost Duck here. I'll buy another Scared Sausage. I'm going to pass on the Cursed Celery Tea, of course. We'll buy all of this stuff. We'll reroll. We are setting enemies on fire, so the Greek fire will do something, probably. And then we can buy these items, we can roll, we can buy a cape, and we're buying all this dodge because we have Retrimation's hoodie, so it gives us attack speed even over dodge cap, and then we'll just buy a couple more points of regeneration with those 2 items. And then let's go to the last wave, and I need to hold still for a little bit at the start of the wave, just so I don't instantly die, and then there we go. Once again, if you weren't paying attention, I will draw your eye to the fact that that was a boss wave, and we killed them almost completely instantly. All right, my friends, hope you enjoyed that run with the Entrepreneur. I think this should give you some idea of how you need to win with this character on Nightmare mode, if it's one of the ones that has been giving you trouble. This is a very powerful character, so you just need to really lean into that power. If you try to build it like a normal character, you're going to struggle a bit, but if you just get wildly high amounts of economy and just buy any item that gives you a bonus, then your stats will be so high that the enemies can't do anything to you. Looking at our items here, we had 1350 materials from bags, 2700 from coupons, which is great, 130 from loot worm. Obviously, this didn't do very well, but we're using a very short-range weapon. I wish I wish we were able to tell like how much lifesteal we got off the Catling guns, but honestly, 74k damage isn't that bad, given that we're not building any ranged damage and had low percent damage for most of the run, though we ended with 300%. Dangerous Bunny saved us 265. We had only 13 bonus from Coil. Our treasure maps were so bad. I don't know how they were this bad this run, but we did get 9 pearls, which is great. 528 extra harvesting from the crown, so obviously that one was really good. Barnacle gave us 19 full level ups worth of stats. 4 scared sausages dealt 12k. The bonk dog actually did 27k as well, so the pets kind of overperformed just because on Nightmare there's so many enemies. Oh yeah, our giant belt dealt 45k damage in the last wave, basically, so pretty good there. And our rats dealt 24k. Our turret and pocket factory dealt 36k. And then Greek Fire did a solid 10k as well. So I hope you enjoyed this run with the Entrepreneur. As always, of course, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. It helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.